Hi, I'm Alex and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're doing the roasted butternut squash risotto. First of all, we're going to toast off the spices. Right, we're just going to put these into a hot pan. Just going to basically dry fry these just to release the oils from the seeds. And once we've done that, we're going to put them through the pestle and mortar. One thing to remember with doing these, do not burn them, because then you'll get a really grittiness to your risotto. Okay, so now we're going to put the squash into the roasting tray. Get it all nicely separated out as much as you can. And we're going to then put some olive oil over the top of that. There we go. Now we're going to grind up our toasted spices in the pestle and mortar. And then we're going to put those over the top of our squash. Let's break those chilies up. And they go into like a flake first, and then we can grind them up. Oh, that smells fantastic. There we go. Only roughly, it doesn't have to be a complete powder, it's nicely, there we go. There we go. And then we're going to sprinkle these, and I will do. Sprinkle those by hand so we've got a bit more control. Now you're going to try and get those over all of your squash. It smells fantastic. And here we go. And then that can go into our oven. Now we're going to add some olive oil to this pan. And then to that we're going to put in our chopped onions, carrots, and celery. And we're just going to sweat these down. Basically looking for the onions to go transparent, just to soften up the carrots. Right, so that's our vegetables softened. Now we're going to add in our garlic, just crushed garlic. Put that down to the bottom of the pan. There we go. And then we're going to cook that for another couple of minutes, just to soften up the garlic. So the garlic been in for 2 minutes now. Now we're going to add in our rice. This is risotto rice. The short grain rice is what you want to use. You can get away with using a long grain rice, but this is far better. Gives it a nice creamy texture at the end. Now we're just going to cook that until the rice becomes translucent. Now it's clear, so you can actually, not clear completely, but you can actually see through it as opposed to being white. Okay, so now we're going to add in the white wine. We just let that absorb in. There we go. Oh, smells nice. And once that's absorbed in, which it's pretty much now, we can add our first ladle of hot stock. And we just stir that in. And we do the same for that, we just let that absorb in. Once that's pretty much absorbed in, we can add the next one. Right, so all the stock is now absorbed, and we're just going to put in the chopped up butter, put that in, melt that down, and the parmesan. We're going to retain a little bit of parmesan just for the garnish, just to put that on the end. Bring out the squash. Now we're just going to put the pancetta over the top of this until it's crispy. 10 slices of pancetta. Put that back in the oven for 5 minutes. Put the sage across the top. The sage leaves. And that's going back in for another 5 minutes. Right, so we just take off the crispy pancetta and the sage leaves and reserve those to the side before we fold the cooked squash into our risotto. Our roasted butternut squash now goes in to our risotto with all those lovely spices. The olive oil that they've cooked in gives it a nice sweetness. There we go. Now what we're going to do with this, we're just going to fold this in gently so we don't break up that squash. Now put this into the serving dish. Here we go, all nice and sticky with that Parmesan cheese. Smells delicious. And onto that we're going to put our pancetta and our sage. Crispy bits of sage across the top. And then to serve that, we're going to put some parmesan over the top. And a couple of sprigs of fresh sage on the top. And there we are, our roasted butternut squash risotto.